Hey, I'm Joubert with Wilson Combat, and today we're going to be talking about our new Colt Python rear sight and front sight. We're going to show you guys how to remove the factory rear sight and front sight and install the front and rear sights from Wilson Combat. The rear sight is an adjustable elevation and windage and is more robust and gives you a better sight picture than what's on the factory gun. And then the front sights come in 4 different variations: a gold bead, a white gold bead, green fiber optic, and red fiber optic. When you're working with guns, be sure you've got your eye protection on. Tools that you'll need a small flathead screwdriver, a 16th punch, a roll pin starter, and some form of hammer. It can be any type of hammer because you'll be using the punches on the pins and not hitting the hammer directly close proximity to the firearm itself. The first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that the firearm is empty. Once you've confirmed that it is empty, you'll want to put tape around the barrel of the revolver to make sure you don't mar the gun up when you're putting it in the vise to drive that roll pin out of the rear sight. So we're going to take just a minute and tape this thing off. Once you get the barrel taped off, the next thing that you'll want to do is remove the elevation screw from the top of the gun. That'll just come out, and then you can see the rear sight float on the spring. Chuck it up in the vise. And we're going to take the 16th punch and stick it in this hole that retains the roll pin and drive that out. Go easy at the end so you don't lose it. And you can pluck it out after it gets so far. Work your punch out. And if you do lose that, Wilson Combat does include a extra roll pin in their packaging in case that thing falls on the floor and rolls across the floor, never to be found again. We'll take the aftermarket rear sight from Wilson Combat out of the packaging. Take your spring and stick it inside this recess on top. Take your rear sight, lay it into the track that's cut into the top of the revolver for that. Take your 16th punch and slide it in to kind of hold that line. And then take your roll pin and your roll pin starter and get everything lined up there. Tap that in until you start seeing some movement on your punch. Make sure you've got enough of the roll pin in to hold that rear sight in place. Remove your punch. Use that roll pin starter to get it pretty close to the frame, and then switch to your punch. Drive the pin the rest of the way in. Now that you've got your pin in, you're ready to install the elevation screw, which drops in from the top and then screws in. You've got that positive click to know that you're going up or down in your elevation. You also have a positive click when you're adjusting the windage on the windage screw. And that's how you install the Wilson Combat rear sight for the Colt Python or Anacondas. Now we'll move to the front sight removal and installation, you will need the Allen wrench that comes packaged with the front sight. The front sight does come with an extra set screw in case you lose the factory one. The front sights are held in with a set screw at the front of the revolver by the muzzle, and you can unscrew that. Might need to use the short end for leverage. There we go. Once you have the set screw out, the front sight just comes straight up and out. And then I would recommend getting your set screw already preloaded on your Allen wrench, and then put your Wilson Combat front sight in, hold it down with your thumb, and reinstall the set screw. When reinstalling, you can put a drop of blue Loctite on these to make sure that set screw doesn't come back out. Do not use red Loctite or you'll probably never get that back out. Once you've got the set screw reinstalled, you're pretty much ready to go to the range, see where your point of aim, point of impact is, and make any adjustments that you need elevation or windage wise on the Wilson Combat rear sight. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was educational. Please tell us what other how-to or instructional videos you'd like to see in the future, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.